What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of my Road to Pro series, as I'm kind of changing the trajectory of my golf and headed toward tournament golf, I should say. And I've seen a lot of questions about this, of just kind of getting like a swing breakdown and just kind of understanding the mechanics of my swing better. I've had a lot of questions from you guys of saying, how do we do that? I didn't really want to break my own swing down, so I thought, why not have the one and only Mike Mathis? You guys have seen him on the channel, but he is the head pro out here at Frisco Lakes, and he is going to work with me today. He's going to kind of break down my swing. So Mike is going to basically just talk to you guys about what he's seeing in my swing that's working really well, and then, like I just said, things that we might could clean up a little bit. Yeah. But obviously Mike is a great teacher, and his golf IQ is really high, so him being able to see that is going to be way easier than me trying to do that myself. No, that's right. Thanks for coming back on the channel. It's good to have you back. Yeah. Obviously you guys remember him, just a phenomenal guy. So we're gonna get right into this. I'm gonna warm up a little bit, and then we're just gonna start talking golf swing. So stay tuned, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for this, and seeing how, once again, I can just keep getting better little by little. You guys already know. Little by little. Sometimes it's little by little, and sometimes it's really little by little. So I got a little warm up in here. And me and Mike are actually already talking, and he was getting right into the action. So, like, what do you feel like I do really good in my swing right now? So one of the biggest parts of your swing is the engine of the club. So the engine of you swinging the club, and your engine that you use is your legs. So therefore, when you use your legs the way you do, and you really explode through the golf ball, what you're doing is that you use the ground first. Instead of letting upper body and full rotation and swinging or rotating the body as hard as you can, you let your legs and the ground kind of do all the work, and letting the upper body really whip that rotation through. Also, another big thing that I saw on your swing is that a lot of people feel like they need to hit the golf ball with their right arm, okay? As you're coming into impact, that right arm is trying to deliver the club head. Well, when you do that, you have early extension, or you dump the club, or you hit on top of the ball. It's all because that body position is, when you use right arm or right hand, you open up everything. You can't use rotation. You have to get the body out of the way. So one thing that you do really good, man, is that you know how to set into that trail leg, and then once you release it, there is a good rotation here, but the body is not leaning into the ball to where you're trying to incorporate right hand. Your body's actually rotating behind it, clearing the body, and you're letting left hand drive the golf club. Yeah. So one really good instructor that I like to follow, it is Mike Bender. I love his teaching style, and it is a one plane swing, but yeah, one plane is the best way, just because you don't have too many angles coming in, right? So like I said, the best thing that you do, man, is you use rotation for one, as far as rotating the upper body, and then you also use the ground, because your legs, the way you use your legs in the golf swing, I wish I could, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Really wish I could. And Mike even told me, he's like, I'm not trying to be mean, but you're not necessarily that big of a dude, and you're able to still hit it far. So we're gonna hit some balls here, and then, you know, me and Mike are kind of chat through this. I mean, that's really cool to hear, just from a golf teacher / professional's standpoint. And obviously Mike has seen me play a ton of golf. He's seen me swing the club a ton, so I trust him with my game. And yeah, we're just gonna see. There's always better, obviously. So we're gonna see, you know, what we can't do to just keep making a little progress here. But that's really cool to hear. So I got a 7-iron here, which I feel like is pretty standard, right? Pretty neutral. If I'm hitting this one good, I feel like I'm hitting them all good. Okay. So one of the key focus areas right here, as he turns, he sets into his right hip. Really, really good. Good. So if we were to slow his swing down, the one area that I did just point at is that trail hip, that right hip. So his right hip right here, when he makes his turn, go ahead and make your turn. As you can see, he has full hip turn. If we were to put an alignment rod in here, this alignment rod will be aiming pretty much right at the golf ball. So this hip turn right here is allowing him to use this ground. He doesn't have a straight leg. There's a little bit of flexion in there. There's a little bit of bent in that leg. So now he's able to fire that angle. Yeah. Just because of that hip. Just because of that hip set. Really? Just because of that hip set. I don't know all the mechanics, but I just that just always feels right. It was a natural feel for you, right? Yeah. Whatever. So
So another really good key thing about his golf swing, if we were to freeze his swing at the top of his swing, he's not over the line, under the line, he's right on plane. Right on plane. So being right on plane, I wish my arm could do it better. Essentially, we don't see the club vertical. We don't see it way laid off. We have it pretty much right in between. So one way that I can see something is if we get to the top of the swing, once he's here, now once he starts that drive down, you're gonna see a release of his body. So his body starts the rotation, not his hands. His body starts to go before the hands. So he's essentially creating a whip.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really feel like I move my hands. Like my hands get to the top, and then I feel like I just turn almost, and my hands just follow. They
follow right. So when you have that feeling and you're using that mechanic or you're using that swing, you're swinging right through the plane line. So the only way that you're going to get out of it is if you try to give it some and you lean into it.
Right.
Which is a lot of individuals, a lot of the students that I have or clients that I have, that is one of the biggest things where when they turn, the first thing they want to do is lean into it.
Is that like a tendency to just try to hit it harder or farther? Like,
yeah.
Is that something of just the...
They're trying to create speed.
Right.
And when they're thinking about creating speed, their mindset isn't to use more rotation. Their mindset is to throw their hands and arms as fast as I can.
Right.
And that's honestly, when you do that, you actually are swinging that golf club a lot slower.
Yeah.
A lot slower.
But all the speed's happening right here.
Exactly. All the speed is right there at the golf ball.
Right.
One of the big things that I really like about your golf swing, man, if I were to take this alignment rod and stuck it out front, most individuals, if we're going to green there, what Micah does really good at, okay, what Micah does extremely well at is that when he attacks this golf ball, he's not sending this golf ball directly at the target, okay? Micah is sending the golf ball right of the target. So it's almost like he's visually feeling like he is going to throw the golf ball right.
Yeah.
And he's going to let the curvature happen with how fast he rotates his body, not how fast he can turn it over with his hands.
Yeah.
So one good thing is that when you set that club out here, you got your whole lead side away from the target.
Yeah.
So now when you drive in, you're getting left side to get away as fast as you can.
Right.
Which is going to allow you to really fire from the inside, but have a strong release point here to release the golf ball right and have the natural curvature from right to left.
Yeah.
He's not forcing that right to left with his hands.
Right.
One part that I would like to clean up though, because sometimes
when they
exactly, sometimes he gets stuck inside and he tries to save it by flipping.
Yeah.
And when he flips, that creates the golf ball to start more on target, miss way left.
Yeah.
And the speed that he's able to generate with his legs, it's going to throw that thing far left.
Or if I'm a little bit late and that it doesn't release, then it's way right.
Push right.
Which is, I notice the most in my driver because obviously it's least lofty club, so it's more exaggerated. But yeah, that's something that we'll probably get to. But I mean, that right there, that's good to hear. But another thing Mike wanted you guys to look at is, and this is something that I've never ever really talked about, but we're gonna do a face-on view, and he's also kind of gonna break it down from a face-on standpoint, which is something that I mean, you guys have never really seen it from me. Maybe a face-on swing in a video, but not like in this manner. So we're gonna switch to that, and I'm gonna hit a couple more balls. But dude, this has been great.
So guys, I placed a stick here, and one thing that we're really gonna try to look on Micah's swing. So when he takes his swing away, and the alignment rod is gonna actually give you a point of reference on how he rotates off of one angle. One good thing that I really see about his golf swing, Micah loads into his right leg, his trail leg, really good. But the one thing that I want you guys to see is that Micah doesn't move or sway off of that line. He rotates, and there's a nice pivot and set into that right hip. When you can have that ability and to have that type of mobility on taking the club back this way, there's so much more power that you can deliver. The reason why, when you watch Mike on the downswing, he's not gonna sway into the top of the swing, nor is he going to lunge into the downswing. What you see is that Micah will really rotate it into his trail hip, and as he releases, he works behind the golf ball rather than into or over the top, which is a lot of people's tendencies out there. So that is one of the big things that it is tough to adjust for a lot of people that are trail side dominant. You do a lot of your golf swing with your lead side. You're turning your lead side away and you're firing the lead side through the strike zone. Yep, that's beautiful, man. And the one thing that I did see, if you guys saw it, I know I saw it. There was a nice turn here, and as he drove down, everything rotated and released here before he even thought about getting to this point. He lets everything go first, keeping hands ahead, so the last thing that comes through is what? The club head. You create the whip. So really watch how he sets into that trail leg and then fires behind the golf ball, not on top of it or in front of it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I need, like, my B game is like not where it needs to be. Like my A game is really good. When I'm on, like, I'm very confident, but when I'm off, I need to figure out how to be more confident when I'm off.
The one part of the golf swing that I really would like to clean up is going to be what your lead hand does at impact, okay? There's some times where I feel like when you leave them a little right, the hand is not really driving in as hard as you need it to be able to get that ball to pierce a little bit more, instead of getting up in the air and letting the elements kind of dictate what that ball is going to do a little bit, to where you have a little bit more control. You have more control over golf ball when you're hitting a mid-flight ball. So might as well play for the mid-flight ball, okay? I feel like when you start to drive down, when you start to really rotate and you're getting ready to release it, this left hand stays kind of here. Then you let it go, which is club face. Okay, that's all club face control. So the one thing that I would like you to start to feel is that the three knuckles, the bottom three knuckles, really start to drive down. Really down. Okay, almost to where you feel like those three knuckles are just way down. Okay, so what that does, if I were to, can I hold your club real quick? So I'm going to show you guys club face control really quick. A lot of people believe that club face control is right hand turning over. Well, club face control is how you rotate your lead hand. So if we were to watch my lead hand and I were to drive these three knuckles down, I want you to see if you can get club face 2 as well as I do this. When I drive three knuckles down, I close the face. Okay? Now, there's times where I see Micah where he enters impact more like this. He doesn't have that club really driving the club face down a little bit more. So if we can feel more of this along with what he does everything really good at, this right here is just going to make that a little bit better. And because my swing path is sometimes get a little too aggressive into out, even with an open club face, that'll cause it'll cause a hook. Big hook. Or sometimes when it's timing's off, then it'll cause a block. But that's where that kind of inconsistency is going to come in. But today's video was more about kind of breaking it down from a standpoint of what I'm doing well and building on that versus just coming out here and like trying to fix all these things at one time, because I feel like that can kind of, you get mental doing that. This has been really good, and Mike is a great communicator, great golf IQ, just off the charts. If you want to see like an actual lesson where Mike kind of like breaks it down a little more and we actually start talking about some things that I can become a lot more efficient at, let me know in the comments. That is going to be about it for today's video. And make sure and check out all of Mike's socials will be linked to the top of the description. So if you are in the Frisco area, or if you're not, Mike is a great teacher out here at Frisco Lakes, and you can contact him or just, you know, view his socials that way. But
thank you so much for your time.
Oh man,
and being back on the channel.
Anytime,
and I'm
bro.
excited to kind of just, I mean, me and Mike, we've built a great relationship out here at Frisco Lake. So until next time, I will see you guys next week back for another episode. And yeah, we're getting closer to playing some tournaments and I'm super excited. So stay tuned and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.